Hello and welcome. In this video I'm going to be playing with the Magic Roundabout concept. For those not familiar with the Magic Roundabout, it is the name given to a roundabout of roundabouts, 5 roundabouts, in Swindon, UK, and that is where I happen to live. I've been through it a few times, but generally it's on the other side of town, and I don't have any reason to go that way. But yeah, as 5 roundabouts in a bigger roundabout configuration, many City Skylines players have tried to make it and do various things with it. And I thought today, what would happen if we supersized it a little bit? And that's what I kind of have here. So let's recap on the Magic Roundabout layout firstly. So I've used the Swindon configuration. There's 5 roundabouts. Now some YouTubers have really come up with some funky builds on trying to create it, but it's really simple if you think about it. It is literally 5 roundabouts, so you make 5 roundabouts, and then between each roundabout to each adjacent roundabout you have one-way roads going each way. So really simple. That is it. So you don't have to worry about counter direction roundabouts. It's kind of one, but it isn't one. One other note, I have put the traffic driving on the left because Swindon is in the UK and we drive on the left. So this is well, I say mirroring, it's reflecting. No, that still sounds like opposite day, doesn't it? This is an implementation of something representative of Magic Roundabout. How's that? Right. Oh, I was on pause all the time. Let's get things moving. Now, you might think, what's all this stuff I have around? So, a roundabout is only good if you have traffic running on it. If you don't have traffic, what's the point? So, the idea is, how much traffic can this configuration work? Now, the way I've built this, if I zoom in, the roundabout itself is a 4-lane highway, and the interconnects between each roundabout is a 3-lane highway. And then I just use 3-lane highway to connect to each block, which I'll come to in a moment. One other feature of using highways, obviously, is that you cannot have pedestrian access on them. So the only way people can move on this particular map is using a car and driving there. So what are these blocks, I hear you ask? Okay, that didn't really help, did it? So this area is all residential. You can see it's quite a large block, and I've used a repeating pattern. I'll come back to that in a second. We have an industrial and utilities area, so it's not just industrial, although a lot of it is, but we have like the wastewater drainage, incinerators, power generator. I even stuck the post sorting office there, fire helicopter, prison. So just all the dirty, noisy stuff that you generally don't want anywhere else, basically, and industry, which is the noisy, dirty stuff you don't want anywhere else. Made to go together. Oh, we have a fire, and there's the fire engine. So each of these blocks do have their own local fire and police facilities. So I'm not, it's a small detail, but I'm not making the police or fire go all the way across from one block to another block. Nope. I was almost going to go back to the residential then, but I won't. This is the office area, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is. So it's just a small block for now. The plan I had was, I could always scale this up. It's on a grid pattern. I do have one minor regret, which is the industrial area is kind of sandwiched against the water. I should have... I've bought a few more map tiles since I started, and I should have built this a bit more, with a bit more space. You should also add, this is the vanilla game So I'm not using any mods that alter the gameplay. So I have the base game, I have all the DLCs, that's it. So no traffic, whatever it's called again, TMPE, Traffic Manager. Don't have anything like that, don't have Move It. They look really handy, I've never used them, but for now this is just the stock game, so anyone can do it. And before I get distracted again, the final block here, with lots and lots of complaining people, not enough customers, is the commercial zone. And again we have some small services. I'll even put a crematorium in there, firehouse, police station, bit of low density, bit of high density, a lot of high density actually. Well, that's why you have problems, I guess. I'll never click on the same things again. All the things superstores, you have two branches right next to each other. That's why you don't have enough customers. Neptune Media Store, I think there were quite a lot of those. All the things superstores. Yeah. Anyway. So, what's going on here? Okay. Well, let's just take the bigger view for one moment. So we have, to recap again, residential, industrial, we'll just lump it together as industrial for now, office, commercial. So everyone lives in the residential area, and the schools are also put in there. I'm not making them go all the way somewhere else just to go to school. So residential, schools, healthcare, that sort of thing, it's all contained in there. So if they want to go to work in industry zone, they'll have to come out to this roundabout into this block. Fair enough. And then same opposite way when they go back home at the end of the day. Okay, they work in an office, go through 3 roundabouts to the office and reverse back again at the end of the day. And if they want to go shopping, they'll probably go 1, 2, 3 this way instead to the offices. And obviously this is the main connection outside of the city. If I understand the game mechanics correctly, industry produces goods which can go to commercial to be sold. So any goods produced there would have to then cross into this area. I haven't seen any out of, I don't know what the phrase is now, not enough goods to sell warnings. So they seem to be good on goods, but just not enough customers, even though I got all this residential. You can also see from the demand indicator, I've still got some room to expand, but I stopped because the demand is slowing, and we have a high demand for industry and offices, so I want to expand that at some point, maybe not immediately. Once again, because I feel I've kind of boxed myself in with the industry zone. I mean, I have got unlimited money. I could just like do some land reclamation. So that's if I want more industry. Alternatively, I could just put some more offices in. One more thing before I forget. The goal of this is just to see how well this roundabout arrangement works. And we're starting to see a few cracks growing now. So this city is just over 15,000 population. When the city was smaller, of course, there's no traffic. So it's not really a stress test. The stress test is how much traffic can you get working. So now at 15, I mean the traffic comes and goes, but sometimes you see slowdowns here. It's not looking too bad at the moment. This probably could be better. I haven't put any stops on anywhere, so they are kind of blocking each other a little bit there. Ooh, that traffic coming out of there is queuing a little bit. I can't resist doing my usual, which is the old asymmetric road, just to give a little bit more capacity in a certain direction. That is the right way. That is the right way. That is the right way. I'm not sure it'll make a huge amount of difference. If they're not turning, they're all going in one direction anyway, so they'll probably only use one lane. But we'll see what happens. So I'm already wondering if I should have a better arrangement here than what I have. So I've got the main highways joining the 6-lane roads, and then I've got some 4-lane roads coming off that to try to spread the traffic. But as is always a problem I have with the base game, they only seem to want to use one lane. They have so many lanes. Why do they just use one lane? And that's an ongoing problem with the roundabouts. You very rarely see more than 2 lanes used on a roundabout. So it's not for a lack of capacity, it's just they don't use all the lanes. It's simple, or I say simple, it's as stupid as that. But anyway, so we've got massive demand there. Let's build some offices, I think. So I'll just keep to the same grid pattern as I've started. Now, one thing I did wonder was, as you see, I just did these early on just to have some loading. And I think already the answer is yes. Should I remake them to have the higher capacity roads like I've done there? It's just so that it might help the traffic spread a little bit better. And I'm thinking I probably should. They're not too concerned about noise, which is why I had to put the gap on the residential zone just to keep the people happy. So let's try that. As I try that, let's just do it. Pause, because they're gonna get really unhappy. I'm seeing missing one there. Right, there we go. I don't see the office as being a high traffic area, so I'll just use the 4-lane, I think. If I get the spacing right. Don't want to destroy everything. Now, what I think I will do, actually, I'll have to fix the power lines later, is I want to try to leave some space on that side. So all the connections will just be on here, but I'll take this road down here just so that we can expand into potentially this area a bit easier. But I'll leave this one in place. So 4-lane road, please. We can go down there. Well, I'm on unlimited money. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. And then I'll have the fun in the moment, of course, of turning all those traffic lights off. Yeah, another non-ideal thing about this map is I've kind of built myself up to this hilly area, which again is not ideal. I'll just go that far for now. Is that the right length? There's like 2 snaps there. Is that... I'm just going to test it out. No, that is not the right length. Because it's trying to snap to something else, and that's annoying. Why are you doing this to me, game? If I ignore it and then I'll just remake the road and see if it behaves a bit better. Oh, slope too steep? Yeah. If I just remake that, let's see if that helps at all. Yeah, that's better. I don't know why that happened. I'll just leave that as a one big block then. So, get rid of that. Let's fix the power lines before everything gets upset. So that goes there, that's already connected. Now what I haven't done is put these road connections back on. I'm just going to redo them again. Just something like that. Sorted. And if I just do like I said, we don't want traffic lights, they just kill the traffic. I mean, they might be appropriate on a really busy junction, but I don't foresee these getting busy enough to need it. And we are done, just checking the directions, that looks okay. Unpause, and hopefully nothing's broken. Okay, a little bit of loss there, because when I oh, that's a really horrible grid. Yeah, it is what it is. Fill all the squares, except that one. And a bit of water never hurt. That will do. So we're just, that should increase the loading. Oh, look at that. I was going to say that should increase the office loading. Now here we have a bit of a problem. So the traffic trying to come out of the residential area is getting blocked by the traffic coming in from, well, this side. And it really doesn't help. They got 3 lanes, but everyone's sitting in exactly 1 lane. So does that mean everyone wants to turn left? I haven't tried this yet, actually. No, some people are turning left, some people are going to the commercial zone. But they are all in the left-hand lane doing that. Use another lane. You have more than 1 lane. I do wish the logic was better. I mean, even if these are 4-lane highways. Ooh. We saw 3 lanes, well, only 2 lanes in use, but they were 3-lane widths in use. Now, of course, if this was real life, you would not have a major roundabout like this with unconstrained traffic. There would be some rules in place. I could put a stop sign there, but it wouldn't really help. It's just a case of anything I do will just make the problem go somewhere else. But the problem that I have right now is there's not enough capacity for traffic leaving the residential block. So can I do anything about that? Actually, it looks like we might start to have some sort of problem here as well in the industry block where the traffic can't get in fast enough. What are they doing? Okay, that's a bit of a steep angle, I suppose. So all the traffic is coming in and turning right. That doesn't make sense. The traffic in the left lane wants to turn right. The traffic in the middle lane wants to turn left. What? This is one of the frustrations I have with the base game, which is it's stupid. I don't think there's a nice way to put it. The traffic is really stupid. You know, if I got Traffic Manager and actually learned how to use it and set everything so it worked as it should, it'll probably be fine. But you know, is it that? Why would it be that bad in the base game? Back over here, is there anything I can do to speed things up? Now, one thing I'm thinking about, which you would not see in real life, in the UK at least, you would not see in real life, is put a stop sign on the roundabout. So we're giving priority to the people leaving a residential zone. Now what's going to happen now, because I put the stop sign there, is this is just going to back up. All this traffic is just going to get choked there. And it's not even working that well. I mean, the other fundamental problem is use more lanes. Please use more lanes. No, I'm taking that out. That is not going to end well. I mean, I could use traffic lights, but I'm going to have exactly the same problem there. People are going to be in the wrong lane. Or more specifically, people are all going to be in one lane. Is there a way to get the base game to use more than one lane? Is there some funny mapping thing I can do or have to do? Now, since they're not using all 4 lanes, let's try an experiment. What if I make this a 3-lane highway instead of a 4-lane? You know, is there some funny logic in the number of lane changes? So we'll just try it on this roundabout for starters. Don't know if it'll make any difference. Right, get out quick before someone else comes. The other point I should make, I suppose, is in real life, in Swindon, in the UK, off-peak, when there's hardly any traffic, you know, roundabouts, clear, you just go straight round them. I mean, quite a lot of them will have lights, but it's not a problem. When it gets busy, you have a ton of traffic and it just chokes. So I guess you could argue this is not too unrealistic. But in real life, people do use more than one lane. So, for example, the left lane might go into this exit, this lane on the roundabout, and then immediately exit. You can't continue round the roundabout. So the middle one would be allowing you to continue and probably go to this exit. And a third lane would map you around eventually to... Okay, that doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't come straight back in again. Most of the time you wouldn't anyway. So maybe, okay, in that case, maybe the left 2 lanes will eventually map to allow you to come out, but the right 2 lanes, yes, this middle lane will be dual purpose, would allow you to go round and exit to the right. Oh, people are using, they heard my complaints, they are using 2 lanes. They are using 2 lanes. What has changed? I changed this to 3 lane. So 3 lane into 3 lane. Does that work better than 3 lane into 4 lane? Could that be why? We are seeing 2 lane usage, which is a huge improvement. Kind of. So this traffic is now blocking that traffic. There's no stop sign here. They're just barging, forcing their way through. It's like a wall. But that's a start. That's a start. They're using more than 1 lane. Should I do that to all the roundabouts then? Let's see if that helps. Not that the others have a major problem right now, but it's good preparation. Ooh. Oh, that's already 3 lane. I thought I clicked it then. I mean, there's hardly any traffic on this one anyway. Something I didn't notice actually. Since I built the new office area, the RCI indicator is pretty much flat. So that's enough office to satisfy the current demands of the city. And I think there's not really much point in trying to expand further without seeing how this traffic situation progresses. But that's a really positive sign at least. We've got more than 1 lane in use. Maybe the 3rd lane would be used if there was a 3rd exit here, but I don't have a need for a 3rd exit. just to look at one of the features of the Magic Roundabout. Well, a normal roundabout, again keeping in mind we're in the UK, we're driving on the left of the road. A roundabout goes clockwise. So if you wanted to turn, take the right, well there isn't a right turning, but if you want to take the second turning, you have to go past the first turning to the second turning. But with a cluster of roundabouts like this, if you want to turn right, you go to the first roundabout, turn to the right roundabout and out. You don't have to go through all 5 roundabouts. If this was one giant roundabout, you'd have to go round the whole thing. And one of the side effects of the movement is you have kind of like a reverse direction effective roundabout in the middle. So that's what I think confused a lot of people trying to build this, is they try to build that on purpose and it doesn't work, or at least it just becomes a lot more complicated if you try to do that. And it just seems to work better if you just build the actual small roundabouts and then just link them up, and that will just form as a consequence of that structure. I'm still thinking I need to do something about the traffic here. It's just too stupid. I am seriously wondering if a 2-lane road there would work better. Because the problem I had was... oh no, it might not help at all then. I was hoping you get... yeah. Well, let's just see what happens. I was hoping with 2 lanes you have one for left and one for right. But I forgot there's a straight on as well. And there's no symbol in this game, it appears, for left and straight on only. So people in this lane are still turning right. Why don't you use the right hand lane to turn right? So we still have the good old 1 lane problem. What if I go absolutely bonkers? I mean, it's just, in part this is just seeing what the game does. 4 lanes, this is absolutely bonkers now. That might actually be working a bit better anyway. That might have done it. It makes no sense to me, but 4 lanes seems to make that junction work. If you have this particular layout anyway. Another one of the mysteries of the game logic. I might put this one back up to 3, or is that just going to mess things up again? We shall see. There's not really enough traffic. Now back here we still have the same problem as before. Is there anything else that could be... oh! Now I said we were using 2 lanes, but now everyone is using just the middle lane. No one's using the left lane now. Okay, I spoke too soon. There's people using the left lane. I think it's just happened that this queue is people who actually do want to go towards the commercial zone, and the left lane is for people going to the industrial zone. Did I miss a zone? Yes, there's the office zone as well. Is that... no, that's a lot of cars waiting. I suppose it could also be argued that, you know, this is quite a large residential block. So we have one block trying to feed 3 other blocks. Although these blocks might go between each other as well. So 1 connecting to 3, this will be the choke point first. So this kind of makes some sense, and that is looking rather nasty now. Any ideas? Is this even a fair representation? If we look at Magic Roundabout, it's a kind of like the real one, that is. You know, it connects different parts of a city together, but not all the parts are totally segregated in function. And I'm creating a bit of an artificial limit here. So, for example, it might have been fairer if I put on each exit maybe a mixture of units. So there's going to be a lot of local traffic that won't even have to enter this arrangement, but only when they eventually do have to venture out, then we see the traffic increase. Speaking of traffic increase, look at this. Oh, that's still 4 lane. That's 3. That's 3. That's 3. That's 3. That's 4. Let's try making this 3 again like I did on the others, because that seemed to help. Is that helping? Apologies for any coughing noises you might get. Just had a little infection recently. Not that one. Let's see how we're doing here. I find it amazing. I have a city of 16,000 and yet that much commercial is still too much commercial. Is that right? I don't know, intuitively to me that doesn't feel like a lot of commercial. And it's not limited to the high density as well. The low density is struggling a little as well. But that's not helping the traffic. So yeah, that is not happy traffic. Obviously it just can't stay like this. Something has to be done. The question now is what and where. And I'm thinking it's got to be traffic lights. Again, without a mod, there is a significant, maybe danger is too strong a word, that the traffic lights won't be synchronized with each other. I don't know how that would work, but I'll just put the traffic lights in now. Let's just see what happens. Is it helping the traffic? I mean, it'll take a bit of time to work itself out, and I've only applied it just to this one roundabout, so it won't help that roundabout. Let's turn the speed up. Is it helping? I think it is helping. As traffic is not blocking each other up now. So, should I do the same here, for example? Or is that unblocking itself fast enough? How are we doing in general? So, to recap, I've only put traffic lights on this single roundabout. And it's quite mesmerising, actually, looking at that traffic go. Is it blocking up now? Are they getting in each other's way? So once again, the lights are... I don't know how the light synchronisation works in this game. It probably... I don't know, does it know it's a roundabout? Because I'm sure that if you really wanted to get into the nitty-gritty details of it, you know, getting the traffic phasing is a major design point. When I used to have a job, my commute would take me over the M4 junction 16 pretty much every day, every working day. So it's a large roundabout which joins the main road, one of the main roads in and out of Swindon, to the M4 motorway, and there's also some other turnings to other areas nearby, such as is it a village or a town? I'm not even sure. But the place Royal Wootton Bassett, which is where my work was. Okay, it's starting to bung up now. It was working, it was looking so promising, and now it doesn't. So what has changed? I haven't changed anything, I just left it running as at full speed. But all of a sudden now, the traffic got worse. I think I'm going to try, let's put the lights on this one as well, at the least. Do I need to do that? I don't feel like I need to do that one yet. So we have the lights on this one and this one, but not these three. I should probably also add, when I set this up, I did try to arrange it to get the traffic to cross each other. So for example, industry traffic has to pass through at least one other node, other than the one it's joined to and the exit node. Residential going to industry is a single hop. Residential going to commercial is 2 hops, as is the office. So slight benefits to the industrial there. You know, I could make it 2 hops to all 3, and it just happened that industrial was the secondary one. And like I said before, goods going from industry to commercial would also have to go through one other node. Is everyone on this turning left? No, but I see something that's a bit annoying already. Why do we have trucks literally coming into my roundabout and immediately leaving again on the highway? They didn't want to come here at all in the first place. I have seen this before in other cities I've built, where on the external connection you have traffic coming in, hits the first roundabout or overturning, and immediately exits again. And I'm thinking, like, why come in at all if you're going to do that? So what I'm going to do, and I mean I don't know how much traffic is actually doing that, but it's not part of what I'm testing. That, as far as I'm concerned, is a game. Is flaw too strong a word? I don't think it necessarily is. So what I'm going to do is just build a funky little... Can I do that? It doesn't have to look brilliant, it just has to work. Is that too sharp or not? I'm still so rubbish at this curve road tool. Try and get it somewhat symmetric-ish, at least I suppose. And down and merge. Okay, you will only join that node or that node, but not in the middle. Because there's not a node there, which there is on the other side. Fine, we'll have an asymmetric. Oh, that's a funky U-turn. So the hope is any traffic that doesn't really want to come into my city can just turn around and get out without getting into my system. So once again, it might take a little bit of time because I think anything that's already started its journey before I built this will not use that. Yeah. So they would rather go down there, do a U-turn and come out there than just take that lane, which is, that's why it's why it's there. Yeah, people doing pointless U-turns. Why? Just why? There's one. I'll pause. It was this one, wasn't it? Ooh. Too many button presses. Anyway, enough distraction from that. That's how's the experiment looking now? Not really any better, is it? I mean, if I was being nice, I would call this busy but moving. If I look in the residential area, we don't have. Yes, we do. It's not queuing. It's not queuing this way anymore. But it is struggling a bit to get out of that way. I don't think there's a lot I could do to improve that, really. But I think this is also the first time I've seen where traffic lights actually improve the situation. It obviously is not perfect by any means. There's enough traffic for it to still clog up, but it's not as bad as it was before. I'm even wondering if there's like an optimum size for a roundabout. So these might be... What I'm trying to say. If these were bigger, it might help a bit more. Because between each stage you have vehicles queuing up, and if you have a longer stretch for which they can queue on, they're less likely to get in each other's way. I would say that's not too bad. How are we doing here? So there's quite a lot of traffic coming out of the commercial. Look at the demand indicator. So we're good on residential, demand for industry and office, and even a little demand for commercial. I'm going to give them some commercial because I'm thinking there's nowhere near enough low density commercial in this game. The same low density commercial that says not enough customers, so I just built some more. That's going to end well. I don't know how much of that is real or how much of it might be traffic related. How are we doing down here? Are we doing silliness like the other area? Now this isn't exactly the same scenario though, so the traffic does look a bit more sensible here. We have one lane for left, one lane for right and one lane for straight on, but these are small roads, not the big road I had on the other one. But we are struggling a bit to get out because everyone's using one lane. Was there... No, the fix I had on the residential side was to make that three lane, wasn't it? Well, the roundabout 3 lane as well as the... Now this might not be working because on the residential side traffic was going in 2 directions, so they were using 2 lanes. I think if I were to put this tool on, almost all the traffic is going back to the residential zone. Almost all of it. Yeah, so that's why they're not using more than 1 lane. They're using 1 lane because they're all going in exactly the same way. So that's another learning point actually. If the traffic is going to different areas, that might help the lane usage a bit. But it does mean this is all clogging up. Again, it might help if there was a little bit more space between them. I mean, we could also do some really wacky things, but I'm a bit hesitant because it's then breaking the spirit of the Magic Roundabout. For example, in the real Magic Roundabout, I'll have to get a photo up. You know, I don't actually know what this central area was. I think it's just, you know, a bit of non-drivable space. But because this is supersized, you know, I would be tempted, for example, to put another road connection between there and there, so traffic could bypass this, but then it wouldn't be Magic Roundabout anymore. It'd just be a, I don't know what it would be called, like a spider web roundabout, or is that even a thing? Did I just make up a thing? That could be my next video. No, my head is imploding thinking about it. How would you turn a spider web into a roundabout? What would Biffa say? Who knows? It's interesting though, the population has gone up a little bit more since I started trying to optimise this traffic a bit. Oh, it's queuing all the way back there though. So where is this traffic going? Are they all going into the commercial or the... what's the word I'm looking for? Industrial. So we've got private cars going into... come on brain, commercial. We have goods vehicles going into industry, and we have private vehicles going into the residential. So not entirely surprising, any of that. But we are still not seeing 3 lanes usage. Well, there's only 2 exits again, so that's possibly explains the 2 lanes. But the majority of it is using 1 lane to come here, then it splits into 2 lanes. Some going off into the residential, some continuing around to the industrial. So again, in real life, you know, you could put, you know, if you had 3 lanes coming into this roundabout, you might have 2 lanes going to this side and 1 lane going around to the this side. Maybe the middle lane will be dual use, I don't know. But then you could start queuing the 2 lanes here going to the 2 lanes here. At least in theory. Oh, it's cleared up a bit again. So once again, you know, I think this would be classified as busy but moving. It's not clear, but it's not too horrific. So it's giving me a traffic movement of 70+%. Let's just leave it at that. We do have a lot of traffic there. I'm wondering... You know, is there something I can do to help with the flow? Because at the moment we got traffic... I mean, fundamentally, I think the limit is how much is coming out there, but I'm just wondering if I could help the flow a little bit by not having two sources trying to merge in that location. So, for example, I could put a one-way road pointing away from the junction. So if they want to come out, I mean, this might just force the traffic jam to there instead of there. Maybe I need asymmetrics as well. No, that's not it. That is it. Asymmetric going that way. Asymmetric going... So asymmetric going inwards, just to help them move. So asymmetric going to the right. I want asymmetric going down. Yep. I don't think that really matters too much now. Has that helped or not? Well, again, we hit the limits. It only helps as far as up to the point where traffic gets stuck. I'm going to go asymmetric down as well on this one. Just for the odd... Ooh! Did you see that? Okay, it's not helping that much because they're all trying to fight back into that lane. Even if they end up coming out on the outer lane. Are we seeing more lane usage? Do my eyes deceive me? You know, I really do wonder about the interactions of road types in game at times. Again, this is a vanilla game. I'm not using mods. What is going on? Well, whatever was going on seems to have stopped somewhat. No, we're still getting very occasionally a car using the outer lanes. Not a huge amount by any means, but then they dive... Well, a fair bunch of them dive in again, but not all of them. Ah, some of them are going elsewhere. Ooh. Ooh, look at that. That is... well, it's no worse than it was earlier, I don't think, actually. So we're on the incoming road, we're queuing back a bit. And in real life, at rush hour, you know, this would not be surprising at all. In this game, I think every hour is rush hour, though. That's the only problem. I don't have the... Is it called a time of day mod? Which tries to put a bit more of a realistic... You know, people going to work in the mornings... Coming home at work time... when it's most busy, and then weekend traffic might be different from weekday traffic. But I don't have any of that, so this game is just doing whatever it's... Ooh, that is busy. I mean, I could put in an asymmetric road, but I'm not really sure it would help at all. No, that's not the correct way. There's no traffic on that side, it's not worth it. I just thought it might get, you know, if there is any traffic that isn't trying to get out, it might just give them more of a chance. So even though everyone's turning right, they're in the left lane. Perfect sense. Is that because it's marked, the game has marked it as both ways? Yeah. So again, you know, that's something that could be fixed with a mod. But I'm not a mod user. Traffic flow is mesmerising at times. Obviously, this is not as satisfying than if it worked better. I don't know, is it time for me to just, you know, bite the bullet, download Traffic Manager and start getting the Sims to do something a bit more sensible on these roads? But it does seem to have, well, the changes, yeah, I think it is slightly better flowing, isn't it? As I learnt on networking, and networking in the sense of computer networks, not networking in the sense of social networks. In network training I've had in the past, there's lots and lots of tricks you can do to improve bandwidth utilization. So that's, you know, quite analogous to traffic capacity. But one of the rules they hammered in quite early on was, at some point, you just need more capacity. Now, I'm not sure I'm at that stage yet, but certainly more intelligence is needed. There's not really any point to trying to expand the city beyond what I've already built without resolving this traffic. So, you know, I still think this was an interesting experiment. Oh, how are we doing over there? Yeah. Well, I think that's a good time to end this. I think I might have to start looking at using Traffic Manager and learning how to use it and seeing if that would improve things further. But for the purposes of this video, I think we are done. Thanks for watching and see you next time.